Hi, welcome to the Small Shed. This week we're back on my favourite subject, cake. Now you may recall a couple of weeks ago my daughter made me a cake for my birthday that was in the shape of the small shed, and very nice it was too. She came to me the other day proving the maxim that there's no such thing as a free lunch, there's no such thing as a free cake either. She wanted a base making for a cake for my grandson. She wanted to make a cake that's James the Red Engine, and she wasn't quite sure how to do the bit below the footplate where there are wheels and things, and being a railway enthusiast and occasional bodger of woodwork things, she thought I might be able to do something for her. So that build's coming up in a minute or two. There's also a few things come into the shed over the last week or two, so I'll just unbox those. They just give a flavour of what's coming up in the few months ahead. Some of these things stretch out into the future and some of them will be up in a week or two. But it just gives you an idea of what's coming up. So we'll start with the unboxing. Right, we've got a couple of late candidates today for the unboxing as well. This has just come in. Another one from China. Right, yes. This is the warning lights for the TWX workbench hack. So that will enable me to complete it. I got two because without having had a system devised, I haven't yet got the an idea of where I'm going to mount them. I might mount one permanently in the shed and have the other one floating. I wasn't quite sure that I could get them. If I fix it on the router table itself, it makes it impractical to do certain operations, I'm sure. So I got these just to see whether I needed more than one. I thought I could use a couple. And they're just a series of 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 LED, 15 LEDs that run off 12 volts. That should give me a visual indication that there's something running that, as I mentioned before, is likely to be able to kill me. A little mounting plate for it. So that's those. And the other one is something I went and picked up last night. It's a nice set of router bits that I've just ordered or just bought on a Facebook page. It came in a nice case, they're in nice condition. They're probably cheap nasty bits, but they give me a decent range now of most of the bits I'm ever likely to need. The whole thing was about £40, which may sound a lot, but actually in addition to that, I've got in the box that came with it, there are about another 40 bits there as well. Mainly repeats. A lot of these are unused. There's a couple of them still with the wax sealing on them. As I say, most of them they're repeats, but it's something that I'll be able to use. And then in addition to that, there were a set of plug cutters. Now the first thing we had to do was establish how big this cake had got to be, and my daughter was having difficulty in visualising the sort of size needed, so I quickly mocked something up in foam core board and a plastic bottle to just get a rough idea. Came in about 20 inches long, and then the next stage was to make the support up to the footplate level in timber. I got a piece of 3/4 MDF, or I think it's chipboard actually. Drilled some dowel holes in it so that the two component pieces of the engine could be done separately. That would make it easier to carry around and move, because it had got to move between her house and ours. Just got a couple of blocks of wood, drilled holes in for the dowels. The MDF was the footplate level, and that then made the base for it to start. That then needed some wheels fixing on it, which are fairly much hidden, but it was quite difficult to see how that would happen with icing or anything. So I made up some a quick mock-up in foam core, and then measured that onto some thin strips of 6mm MDF, marked all the centres off the mock-up that I'd done, and then just used a bottle to produce the right size radius for the wheels for the tender, and a larger one for the locomotive itself. Drew round them, and that produced the basic shape that I could then cut out on the bandsaw. So I then took the bandsaw and cut out roughly halfway up the wheels to roughly axle line. You can probably see better here that how it was done. They just marked out, say, the halfway line, and then effectively cut out the half rounds for the wheels, so that we'd have a profile that she could apply icing to that was wheel shaped. Fortunately there's quite a small blade in the bandsaw at the moment, so it's quite easy to get the curves cut. Once that was done, it was a fairly simple matter to just get a bit of super glue to stick the frames to the either side of the spacers. I left a little bit of a gap between the spacer and the side frame just to space the wheels out sufficiently convincingly below the foot plates. Bit of accelerator on, and it's dry within a matter of seconds. Once that was done, it was just pretty much finished, and the locomotive part was done the same. That now will travel quite nicely without any great problem or fear of the cake moving. A quick squirt of black spray to the underframe just to take the noticeability of it away so you wouldn't see it, and then the rest will be dealt with icing and all of the cake decorating stuff that I don't understand. There's the finished job, ready to be sent off for adding cake. And here it is in all its glory, finished, ready for my grandson's second birthday, James number 5, the red engine. Well, I hope you like that. I know for a fact there's one or two more bits and pieces coming up in the future that are cake related, so if you're interested in that, please press like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Bye!